Good morning, Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us at Race on Main Street. You can check out all of our past episodes at raceonmain.com. We have Chef Larry, who is cooking. I can smell it in the background.
I actually had a pancake before, and it's unbelievable. This guy knows his way around a kitchen. It's a wonderful demonstration.
Yeah, so Chef Larry will be our guest today, so stick around. Good morning, Philadelphia, and welcome to our latest edition of Race on Main Street. And don't forget, you can check out all of our past episodes at raceonmain.com. We have a terrific show scheduled for you today. We actually have a live in-house chef that will be here cooking for us in just a little bit. So we'll get to that shortly. I can smell the food cooking. It smells delicious. Stu, what do you think?
This is new. We've never done this before, and I think that it's going to be fun.
I'm a little off my game. I'm not. I smell. It smells good back there.
It smells good.
Yeah.
It smells like cooking.
Yeah. So good cooking.
Good cooking.
Yeah. So Chef Larry will be here. You can check out all of his
Don't I get to introduce?
Information.
That's my job.
At Chef Larry Creations. That's his Instagram account. You can check everything out there. But go ahead. What do you got way more to talk about.
Well, we decided we were going to chat a little
briefly,
bit, right? And I think that the best thing to chat about is happy football season, because
it just started. That's right.
The Eagles just broke. They opened camp yesterday or the day before, and things are looking well. Except there's a terrible shadow hanging over Eagles Nation. Betsy's at the shore, and she wandered into one of the sports books yesterday and put $100 down on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Oh boy!
Which basically has completely, Betsy's like Schleprock. She bets on a horse, the horse falls down.
Right.
So I'm thinking that she said it'll be fun. It'll make the season more fun. We'll watch. I think
$100.
I'm very concerned that if the Eagles don't do well this season, it is actually
we have someone to blame.
We know why.
Yeah.
We will
but
know
didn't
why.
Carson Wentz? Did I read something about it? That he's like already they're looking at him as the MVP.
Yeah.
They haven't even he hasn't even taken a snap.
Well, he had
yet.
2 seasons ago. He would have won the MVP if he didn't get hurt. And then last season, of course, he was hurt. But apparently, he's come back to camp looking rather fit.
Yeah,
so
that's what I heard.
People are saying that there's a very good chance that he'll be back in his 2017 form.
Right.
And that bodes well for the Eagles.
Yeah, definitely. Even with that $100 bet.
Even with that $100 bet.
Yeah,
All right, so let's get to it because we do want to get
to
cooking.
Chef Larry.
Yeah,
so, it's good. So give us
Chef Lawrence Washington is a Philadelphia culinary institution. This guy's been cooking in Philadelphia for more than 30 years. He's cooked in some of the most important kitchens. They told me to pick it up. Some of the most important kitchens in Philadelphia. He's got a whole bunch of important private clients that he chefs for. Yeah. I think that's the word. And the man is an author. Lincoln's Big Choice was co-written by Chef Lawrence and is available on Amazon.com. So we're going to go over and have some good Chef Larry cooking now.
Yeah, sounds good. We are standing here now with Chef Larry.
How are you?
Larry Washington.
How are you? Good. How are you? Yeah.
That's a hell of a whisk.
And we have a terrific whisk right here. We have first, as Stu mentioned, Chef Larry is going to talk a little bit about a fairly simple recipe, is what it seems like, that anybody can make.
Yes.
I'll let you take it away.
So what it is from Lincoln's Big Choices. It's a recipe at the end of the book. It's a silver dollar recipe. You can make them in silver dollar size, or you can make them in a large size. Me personally, I like the fun of eating pancakes in a smaller size. So now I'm going to introduce you guys to Pancake 101.
All right, Pancake 101. Doesn't start with an Eggo.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
My kids always say the first pancake is for practice.
The first pancake is for practice. They're absolutely correct. And the reason why we want to practice is we want to make sure that the pan is hot enough, right? You have enough oil in the pan, and that the pancake is set up right. And when we go over the whole mixture of the pancake mix, you're going to see why. So I preheat my griddle.
Yeah, I can feel the heat.
Everyone
coming up.
Everyone has one of these. They either got it for Christmas or got it as a wedding gift. It's time to break this out. You don't need to use the
Hey, Chef,
pan.
we have the thing that you put on the burners. Is that okay, or do I need to get one of these things?
Yeah, it's one of those pans that you put on
It's just a
top of the
piece of
burner.
cast iron and you
Yeah.
put it on the burner?
But you have to understand how the heat is controlled in that pan,
Okay,
right? It makes a real big difference.
okay.
So it's a cake, right? So we're gonna follow the rules of making a cake. And the
There are rules?
Yeah. It's almost like scientific rules of baking.
Okay.
All right.
Baking is precise, and I'm gonna go down the list of everything to tell you why.
Hit us.
So we're gonna start with all-purpose flour. We want all-purpose flour instead of regular flour because the way all-purpose flour proofs up,
Okay.
right? So all dry ingredients have to be mixed first, and then wet ingredients have to mix in with the dry ingredients. We know why?
No, because I've never done it that way. I go like this, stir it up and slap it on.
Okay, so if you
It's
put too much wet inside the mix, what's gonna happen?
gonna be too wet.
It's gonna be too wet. You can't add more dry because of the dry mixture is so precise, you can't add more dry to the wet.
right.
So you wanna start with the dry ingredients first, which is a cup, and this gonna make about 12 pancakes, regular size. So we're gonna start with a cup of all-purpose flour, right? Baking powder, a tablespoon of that, and baking powder is what they call a leavener. A leavener
Makes it
is
rise.
what makes things rise and stuff, but it's a flour mixer, so it makes it rise and makes it tear away easily.
Oh,
Right. And then we're gonna add, because it has to be sweet, or it'll be a savory pancake, and you can make those for dinner. So you don't have to add the sugar. You can add, at this point, you can add dry herbs to it, right? So we're gonna have 2 teaspoons of sugar. I have cinnamon. I like the flavor of cinnamon in my pancakes.
Me too.
You don't have to add it,
I like cinnamon.
but this is a cinnamon blend, so it's cinnamon and brown sugar.
Yeah, it looks it. I was gonna
Yeah.
say that.
and
looks
these are
good.
all, this is like all off the shelf ingredients?
All off the shelf. Well, the cinnamon and sugar blend, you can do it yourself. It's cinnamon mixed with brown sugar.
50-50?
Yeah.
Or,
Mix it like the
Just
taste?
50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, 50-50.
Okay.
And the brown sugar, that's all it is. It's regular sugar mixed with molasses, right? So, in mostly all baking, we want to add a pinch of salt. And people always say salt. Okay, why are you putting salt and sweet together? So what salt does, salt enhances flavor.
Is that why people like sometimes salt chocolate ice cream?
Yeah. And it depends on what kind of salt you put on the chocolate ice cream.
There's different kinds of salt.
It's hundreds of kinds, it's different kinds of
There's
salt.
things I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna use a regular table salt for this. And remember what we wanna do, we want that pinch of salt to enhance all of the other flavors. If you don't, it's gonna have like this dull taste to it. Mostly all baking goods, cookies, cakes, all of that is a pinch of salt in all the recipes.
Did not know that.
So with this, you can add water to it, but I want this to have more of a heartier taste to it. So in Lincoln's recipe, we added almond milk to this. But if you have a nut allergy, you can use coconut milk. You can use 2% milk, regular milk. It's to your taste. But I really wanted to add almond milk to that. So what we want to do at this point, you want to make sure that the dry ingredients are mixed together. Because if you don't mix them together, what's going to happen?
It'll All pulls up
Yeah.
on one side.
Yeah, you're gonna put it down and it's gonna taste like it's just salty over here or cinnamon over here. So we wanna mix all of the dry together.
It's like chemistry.
I've
It
done
is
this,
like
I've
chemistry.
done this
It's
wrong
exact-
for a long time.
It's
I've had
exactly
your
like
pancakes.
chemistry.
They're pretty bad.
So we're gonna add 1 cup of milk. Actually, we're gonna bring my bowl over here. We're gonna add 1 cup of milk. And then we're gonna I have a broken egg in here.
I can see.
And
I would never have thought of that.
yeah, so the egg, you know how when you mix the pancake mix and you look at that yellow color of the pancake mix, that's where that comes from. It's not just that. Egg whites is also a leavener. So, but you have this different taste to the egg white. So what we're gonna do is, we have the dry, we have the wet. Oh, I forgot. Always olive oil. I mean, not olive oil, but canola oil or some oil of that sort, and pancakes.
Wow.
And the reason why, you ever had pancakes and it's like you try to cut them apart, or when you're eating them, they're kind of like gooey and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so what the oil does, this is all science. The oil, there's molecules in it that breaks it all up. So it's nice and fluffy when you're eating it. And that's how a pancake's supposed to be.
All right.
So we're gonna add the wet to the dry. You see how it's coming together?
And here's my next problem. I can't pour and stir at the same time.
All right, quick tip,
Yeah,
restaurant tip. So we're gonna put this here, rag. We're gonna put the rag down. We're gonna put the bowl down on the rag,
won't
and
move.
it's not gonna move. That's a quick restaurant tip for you.
I would have knocked it off.
free hand.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You see?
So you're
yeah.
pouring that stuff in, and you're watching
I'm
the
watching it.
consistency of the
Yeah.
batter,
So
and
I
that's how
need-
you know how much wet to add.
Right. And actually, the consistency go a long way in cooking, because they'll use this term in cooking. I wanted the consistency of pancake batter, or I wanted the consistency of peanut butter.
Right.
So they use these other terms in cooking.
So what's the consistency of pancake batter? Like, is it like mortar? I mean, what are we
No,
trying
it's a
to
little
get
less
to?
than mortar.
Okay.
Yeah. And another thing about science that's in baking, over mixing. Over mixing will break the gluten up, and that will turn your pancakes into like doughy.
Yeah.
So what you want to do, sometimes when you're home and you're making the pancakes, mix, and you see it's clumps in the pancake, leave it just like that.
Okay.
You mix it for a certain point. You mix it for a certain point till everything comes together, right? And you just let it do it.
Yeah.
Sit there. So here's my whole thought process with pancakes and breakfast. What I like to do, I like to cook everything that you're going to eat. Bacon, any kind of meat, home fries. Cook that first. Keep it warm. Make the pancakes last. I hate
fresh,
cold.
right.
Yeah, it has to be fresh.
Got it.
So we're going to use a little bit of oil in the pan.
That's another thing I do
So-
wrong. I cook the pancakes first.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
And they just let them sit aside and throw them on a plate.
Yeah, so this pan is about at medium heat. Another thing we're going to talk about is Teflon. So this pan is made out of Teflon. You really shouldn't use metal on Teflon because it breaks the Teflon up. So you want to use like a plastic spatula or something like that in it.
Got it. Nope.
So here's another thing about cooking that like for people to pay attention to. Did you hear that?
Yes.
A little
Sizzle.
If you didn't hear that, there's a little sizzle going on.
Yeah.
Just a little.
So the sizzle is telling me that it's hot enough for me to use it. It's the same thing as cooking steaks and stuff like that on the grill and everything. If you don't hear a sizzle, that means that it is not hot enough. So you see how fast that is? This is one of the keys to pancakes. This means that I have the heat is just where I want it. See how it's bubbling up?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So when people add things to the pancake mix, for me personally, I don't like to add this to the mix because it's going to take longer for it to cook because this is on the inside of it. Then you ever had the pancakes and you had something inside and it's kind of like not really cooked all the way?
Sure.
So what I would like to do, I like to cook the pancakes halfway, right? I'm going to scoop under it, see if that's where, that's what I want. So then I want to add what you're going to add to it in it. So we're going to add blueberries. In these recipes, you can add anything to pancakes almost.
Like chocolate chips. Like my
Chocolate
kids
chips,
want.
yeah. So we're going to do that.
Oh, whoa, turns it right over on the fruit.
Yeah. Because remember, we got that leavener in there, right? And another thing I never like to do is smash a pancake. I watch people do that and it makes me cringe sometimes.
What's the, like you see, what about flipping pancakes? Is that a thing or that's just for show?
It's just for show, but it's, that's all it is, it's for show. Because look what happened.
That's a good looking pancake.
Yeah.
Oh, it smells
So you
so
see,
good.
you smell it?
I can smell it, I
So-
can see it.
so-
And just so for all of you watching, this is the best smelling pancake. For real. I mean,
Yeah.
This is
Because
And it's like perfectly golden brown. too.
Yeah.
It's like-
yeah.
So what happened is the fruit is caramelizing on the bottom of the pan. See, if you add the fruit to it, it's not
that
going to
doesn't happen.
caramelize. So I want that caramelization because that caramelization gives it more flavor. And you hear it cooking?
Yes.
You can hear
And
it.
that's what
That's
we want.
that's a good sound.
Right.
That's the
So
good sound.
how long did that take? So we cooked it probably 2 minutes on one side, flipped them, and then we're going to cook them another 3 minutes on the other because I really want the pancakes to cook all the way through.
And the whole goal also, I just, and this is a question,
Right.
not a statement. You don't want to flip it back over the other way.
Never.
One flip, that's it.
One flip. That's why you want it to cook mostly on the one side, right? Because you don't want to flip it back over. And in cooking, that has to do with a lot of stuff that you cook. You want to make sure that the one side is cooked to the point where you know it's time to turn it over and never turn
And
it
then
back
never
over.
go back.
No, because it's not going to cook right after this. And I want this to cook through. So that's caramelized. Then I'm going to show you guys
Now that's a breakfast.
on the plate. You see?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
You see the caramelization?
Yeah.
And you see how it cooked all the way through?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I would have
But
thought.
it's all,
not
look at the
ha-
fluffy, like
That's
it's all,
what- right.
yeah. It's like a biscuit.
Yeah, that's what we want. But the biscuit leavener and the pancake leaveners is two different, because the biscuit is more like bready. So, that was Pancake 101.
Pancake 101 was,
And before we, just before we go out of this, I just want to make sure that everybody knows to contact Chef Larry. I have no idea what camera, so I'm just going to say. Thank you. Chef Larry, just like it sounds, CHEFLARRY, the numeral 2 at yahoo.com. There's a website, www.clcreations.info, an Instagram, Chef Larry Creations, and a Facebook page where, if you go on Facebook and you type in Chef Larry, you'll get to the Facebook page. So that's the way to contact this gentleman. If you want him to cook in your home, that's done, right,
Yeah.
people? As
Yeah.
well as, demonstrations and what have you.
Interesting
And the
thing
book.
about
One more.
yeah.
The book is on Amazon.com, Lincoln's Big Choice. So make sure you visit all these places.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
we-
the smell is getting better. Like it's like
Hold on,
impossible.
I want to finish it off so I cooked in French restaurants for a long time.
Yeah.
And we call this the piece de resistance. So this is melted butter
Oh my goodness.
and served.
That looks good.
and we're going to be auctioning this off because
Well, I think the crew is going to.
I mean-
there's already some looks at this from the crew.
that's
so.
a pretty spectacular breakfast. And you're right, it didn't take too long.
No.
It was something that I think most folks with a little bit of help could get
Right.
as good
And
as it can be gotten.
we really want to have fun with breakfast. Do it with your kids. You see, no knives involved and stuff like.
Yeah.
So have fun with it and make a good breakfast.
Yeah, and one last thing about the book. The book is not just a cooking book. It's a kid's book
Yeah.
with the idea of really trying to sort through what it looks like in terms of picking occupation, careers, things like that. So
How'd you get the idea for the book?
So actually, it was one of those things where I talked to my.
Okay.
No,
go
we
ahead.
would
Yeah,
tell
go
us
ahead.
real quick. We're good.
Are you? No, she's saying do more. This means do more.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we have to do more. So
Yeah.
tell us about the
Gotcha.
inspiration
All
for the
right.
book.
So-
I don't know what they're doing back there.
they're having
These
a
guys-
party.
They're
It's all
jumping
good.
around
Let the
like
man
monkeys.
talk.
I have
All right,
no
so
idea what's
see,
happening.
now it's-
All right.
So-
let's hear.
The whole premise of the book, we sat down with our kids, and as they were growing up, we told them like pretty much, like in life, hopefully you'll find something, whatever you love, you're going to do. So in the book, Lincoln has a school project. He's in the 6th grade, come back off a summer break. It's a 6th grade project of finding out what he wants to do for a career. So it was to interview a lot of professional people, which most of the professional people in the book are friends of ours. That's where it really start coming together, right? And we talk to all of our friends one at a time. What do you think of this? And what do you think? Oh, that's a real good idea. So that's how we created that portion of it. So he goes and interview several people, talk to his mom. His mom is an accountant. His dad is an entrepreneur. So he goes around and happened to be an executive chef, right? So he goes around, interview people. As he's interviewing people, he takes them snacks, sandwiches, cookies that he made and everything. So ultimately, what happens is he realized that he loves cooking, and that's what he wanted to do when he grew up.
Yeah, and it's interesting, in the very beginning of the book, you talk about the idea of go find something you love.
Yeah.
Go find something you love, and if you can love it and forget the other things like salaries and things
Yeah.
like that, that'll come. But go find something you love. You got to go do it for a long time, so go love it.
So it's funny that you said that because it's a career day project list in the book also.
Yeah, that's a great
and
idea.
it kind of lists your job title to the future, how much the requirements you need for the job, how much the job is paying, and all of those things. Because it's really the stuff that you should know.
Yeah.
If you know you're growing up, you need to know what I need to go to college for to determine for me to get this job.
Right.
You know, and the salary comes with that, so how do I get this?
Right.
And the book's set in Philadelphia,
And it's set in Philadelphia.
because you can tell from some of the.
Yeah,
I noticed Mr. Sonny was wearing a
yeah,
76ers hat.
yeah. We were
Yeah.
actually at his show Sunday,
Ah.
and his whole show Sunday was about the book.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wonderful.
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So the book, again, hold the book up so that the
Please.
camera can see. And we're talking about Amazon.com.
Right.
Hold the book up for that camera right there.
Yeah.
Amazon.com is where to get the book.
Yeah,
Um,
and then real quick, I mean, just to make it simple, if you go to Chef Larry on Instagram, that's going to be able to take you to a lot of different places.
Chef Larry Creations.
I'm sorry, Chef Larry Creations. If you put in Chef Larry Creations on any web search engine, you're going to be able to come up with all of these locations, the book, and certainly if you want to talk to Chef Larry
Yeah.
about some additional recipes or
Yeah.
parties or fun things that he
Parties.
could provide all of the cooking and all that kind of good stuff for, you got all of these types of things available to you.
I
so-
have one more question.
Yeah.
How tell us in 2 minutes.
30 seconds.
Tell us in
Yeah,
3
we're-
minutes. No, they're holding up 3 fingers. 3
Three.
minutes.
I understand.
Tell
There's
us in
more to
tell us
do.
in 1 minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Why cooking? How did you get to be Chef Larry?
It's going to take longer than that, but let me try to compact this
Yeah.
a little bit.
Condensed version.
So it's almost like when an actor tell you that they've been bitten by the acting bug.
Okay.
So I was in school, I needed a little bit more money for books, was washing dishes. One day I was asking all about how's this done, how's that done, so on and so forth. One day a guy called out sick from work. The chef asked, can I just stand over there and just help out? I worked the station by myself. And mind you, this was in the early 80s. It was only French being spoken in the restaurant, right? So I worked the station by myself. We did like 110 covers that night. He pulled me in the office afterwards and was like, you know, I thought I was in trouble. I thought he was going to fire me. He asked me, where did I learn how to cook? How did I know how to do all of this? How did I speak French? And I was like, I don't know. It just came to me.
How about
So after that point, I dropped out of school. My parents were upset, but after that,
So cooking found you.
it
Yeah.
found me.
It bit you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Speaking
And
of
it was
fighting,
actually it was a 3-star French restaurant where I
Okay.
started. Yeah.
Huh?
That's great.
Yeah.
It's a
Excellent.
fantastic Philadelphia story.
Yeah. Philadelphia story. Yeah.
All right.
So
Take us out.
Chef Larry Creations. You can check him out on all the normal spots: Instagram, Facebook. You know how to do all that. Don't forget, you can check out all of our past episodes at raceonmain.com. Like I had said before in our previous show, it's been a hot one. We have all these service people out cutting down trees and rushing to fires and handling the police stuff. They're out in the hot every day. So make sure you keep an eye on them. Make sure.
Keep an eye on each other.
Yeah, keep an eye on each other, absolutely. So remember, Chef Larry Creations, raceonmain.com, and we will see you next time. Thanks, everybody.